Palak, welcome to An Afternoon with Roulakk. Now, you have your own life example that you married somebody that you actually didn't really know. Now, essentially, you spoke a few times on the phone and you met in Australia just before your wedding. How many dates?
My story starts back in India. Now, back in India, it's a tradition that our parents, they find the match for us.
So this tradition still happens.
Yeah, it still happens. It is still there, and we even have got some sort of matrimonial sites as well. Matrimonial sites are like parents are going to make the profile, like the groom's family is going to make their profile and the bride's family is going to make their profile. So in that organization, I used to be the center manager.
You used to be the center manager?
Yeah, I used to be the center manager down there. And my husband's auntie, she used to live in the same building where my parents used to live. So she asked me one day, can you find a good girl for my boy, because he lives in Australia and we're really looking forward for a girl who is ready to go to Australia, because most of the Indian girls, they don't prefer going to Australia because sometimes it can be tricky. You don't know who the family is. So for almost 6 months, I tried finding a girl for my husband, and I ended up marrying to him.
Now, Palak, these sites, are these something like Tinder?
Tinder is quite a different thing, because
But you're putting up a profile. So you
Yeah,
have a
but-
profile of yourself, you have a profile of your now husband, but you as an admin was trying to find his perfect match.
Yeah, but in the matrimonial sites which I'm talking about, is parents make that profile.
So the
Into-
parents make the
Yeah,
profile
yeah.
of their child.
Yeah.
So your now husband was in Australia,
Yep,
you are in India.
yep,
The parents finally find someone for you,
yep.
and what happens then? I mean, do you actually have a choice in saying yes, no, or you have to marry who they choose?
Nowadays, you have really got a choice that you can say no to your parents, and nowadays you even meet with the partner whom you're marrying. Previously, in the old days, the bride and the groom, they used to meet straight away in the room. When they were married, all the traditions were finished.
So basically like married at first sight.
Yeah.
I mean, at
It
least he
is.
gets to see your married at first sight walk down the aisle. You guys are actually meeting in a room private to walk down the aisle?
Yep.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
So that used to be the tradition in our India, and nowadays at least, I met my husband 3 or 4 times before getting engaged with each other. But
When you
you're-
said met him, did you fly to Australia or he flew to India?
No, he flew to India, and then we just met a couple of times before getting engaged.
Yeah.
And that too, when you start meeting a guy in India, it means that yes, everything is almost finalized. You are just being given a chance. Okay, you can see if there are like 0% chances that we are not compatible for each other. In that scenario, the parents will delay the marriage, or they'll find some other person for you. If there are even chances for 1% compatibility, you have to go for that guy.
Okay, now, obviously, there was something that clicked between both of you. So you're now flying to Australia
Yeah.
and you're leaving India and you're coming to Australia for the very, very first time. How different was it for you? Because you came from a culture whereby you have your own servants or maids, helpers around the house. Now you're coming to Australia, but you're not marrying some multimillionaire. What culture shock did you encounter?
It was a nightmare.
In your own words,
Yeah,
Palak.
it was a nightmare. When I came previously, in my mind, Australia was like okay, because previously I lived in Dubai, so it was like okay, it is
In the business centre of Dubai or in the outside of the Dubai centre?
No, I used to be in the main Dubai.
Okay.
Yeah, so I used to work there in banks. So it was like, okay, it is going to be similar like Dubai. We'll have the maids, we'll have the food coming from outside. It is going to be really cheap. You can, like, everything was convenient as it was in India. So, so the same thing was in my mind. And when I reached Australia, the first night my husband took me from city to our home in Noble Park. So I was like, okay, this is
So you've
beautiful.
experienced Dubai,
Yeah.
you've gone to Noble Park,
Yeah.
and in your eyes it is beautiful.
Yeah. So my husband like intentionally took me from the city to Noble Park, and I was like, okay, now this is the thing which I really dreamt of, and like this is what I wanted from my life. And on our way back to home, my husband was asking me, what happened? Were you so quiet? Are you missing your family? And I was in my mind saying, oh, shut up, you idiot. I just wanted this thing in my life. So that's why I'm just absorbing everything into my mind, and I'm seriously loving it. Okay, now till that part, it was all right. The moment we reached home, my husband asked me to get out of the car and open the door. So I was like, okay, maybe the servant might be sleeping, or he might not have called the person to come up. But I said, I don't know how to open it up because it was a different door for me. So he got off the car and he opened the door, opened the garage door, put the car in, and then he started putting the baggages down. I thought that maybe the maid just only lives till evening time and she's gonna come tomorrow morning. So he just took 2 of the bags, and I was standing behind, and he said, what you waiting for, lady? You need to get these bags because no one is coming to pick them up. I was
So
like,
what are you waiting for, lady? It wasn't even, hey babe, hey
Yeah.
sweetheart, hey darling, no.
No, it was like, what are you waiting for, lady? Because he knew that part, because 10 years back when he came back from the same country, so he knew what was going behind my mind, so he knew what I was waiting for.
So he didn't actually prepare you, did he?
Actually not, because we used to only talk over the phone, and you know when you get engaged, you are in that fairyland.
Oh, so you don't actually talk
Yeah,
about,
yeah.
okay.
So it's like you're all in your imaginative world, and you're like, oh, don't break my dreamland, and everything is beautiful. Only you talk with love and that sweetest voice. That all was happening in 6 months. So I thought, okay, maybe I just took the 2 bags inside, and then he asked me, okay, do you want something to eat? I said, yeah, sure. So he said, okay, I'm going to cook, and then you can do the dishes later.
I'm going to
So-
cook and you're going to do the dishes.
Yeah. So he cooked me noodles, and I ate them, and after that I said, I didn't want to reply him at that time. I thought maybe he's having a jet lag or something. He's an idiot. He's just talking. I don't know. Maid will be coming in. She can do it. Why I have to worry about? Because some people, like back in India, it's a ritual. Before you sleep, you should always clean up your kitchen, because generally the maids, they come from afternoon till evening. So the night time, generally most of the people back in India, they're going to clean the dishes and clean the gas stove and everything and keep it all clear, because it's like goddesses, they come at night time and bless your house.
Okay.
So I was like, maybe he is going to follow those rituals, but I don't believe them. I'm not going to do the dishes. So next morning, he woke up, he was getting ready for work, and I just opened up my one eye, and he was like, so can you cook something for dinner tonight? I said, okay, I can, but what time the maid will be coming in so I can open the door? They said, are you serious? No maid is coming down here, lady. You are the maid, and I'm the maid.
You are the maid.
Yeah.
Oh, he did say it.
Yeah,
he was the
said-
maid too. So
yeah,
it wasn't
yeah,
like
yeah.
a one-sided thing, no.
No. He said that you're the maid and I'm the maid. So we both are a team, and we need to cope up with all the work. So it's
Oh,
like no
wow.
one will be coming in.
Did you think he was joking or did you actually believe him?
No, I thought he was joking. I thought maybe he's just playing a prank with me, because I'm just married to him and we have just started living together. So I was literally like,
Oh my
he's
goodness.
joking. And I was like, okay, just let him go to work, because till that time it was so promising in my brain that okay, everything is gonna turn out the way I want. Because I used to be the most pampered child in my house. Back in India, I never even picked up a glass of water for myself,
Wow.
because I used to have maids for everything. Like I never even driven my car, because we used to have driver at our place.
Wow.
I was like, maybe he might be playing a prank or something with me or trying to scare me, like because I'm in a new country and my family members aren't there. After a week, like I slowly and gradually realized that okay, that's not the
Oh,
story and
no.
something fishy is going on. And then after a week, I got so pissed off and I said, okay, what do you think? That I'm not educated? I'm coming from villages or what? So I don't know how I'm going to sue you. You have just cheated on me. We don't have maids here.
Oh,
we don't
no.
have anything.
Normally people use the word cheat for other reasons, but you
Yeah.
were cheated, cheated out of maids.
Because when he used to ask me to cook, so sometimes I used to put salt extra in the food, or sometimes I used to, like, I was a horrible cook because
You never cooked.
I never cooked. I didn't know.
Palak, tell me a simple chore like cleaning the toilet.
Oh,
How did you manage that, or did he say he was going to clean the toilet? Who cleaned the toilet?
in the very first days, he used to clean it, and then after that, because he was getting too much of the workload because I wasn't cooking properly and I wasn't cleaning the dishes at time, because at that time my husband used to be a chef in Thai restaurant, so he used to do the night shifts at that time because
Okay.
he was one of the senior chefs. So what I used to do is when he used to go for the job, I used to leave the dishes in kitchen as it is, and then I used to go to sleep because my
wow.
body was going through a jet lag and my body was still in the zone. Okay, this is my sleeping time and this is my waking up
Oh,
time.
wow.
And then because at night time I used to feel very scared because I was alone in the house, which I've never ever lived in my whole life. And Australia is such a quiet place that I never used to listen anything out on the road. So even if my neighbor's dog used to bark, I used to get like so scared that what's happening, what's going on.
So how long did it take you before you cleaned the toilets? How long?
I reckon almost 3 months.
3 months, and you.
Yeah.
So reality kicked in. There's no maids. This is Australia, unless of course you're rich. Did you have any regrets? Did you want to go home?
Actually not, because that was a life which I always have been dreaming from my childhood. It's like sometimes people say that maybe in the past you were born in this country or something. Seriously, when I got on this land and when I was going back home to Noble Park from city, I was feeling that connection as
Oh, wow.
I know that place and like I have been there, like, and it was such a strong connection.
Wow.
I know sometimes it might feel like as it's idiotic, there's nothing like that, but no, sometimes you really feel that connection deep within your heart that yes, I have been at this place.
And when you started working here, was that any different to what you were used to? I mean, I know you worked at the bank in Dubai, and that is a huge business centre there. How different was working admin here in Australia?
Oh, it was like sky and land. It was seriously sky and land. Firstly, the problem was with my accent. I couldn't understand people because the English we speak back in India is very different, and the way we speak here it's entirely different. Anyhow, whichever country you go, you've got a different accent. I still remember like few days back when I came to Australia, after some days I went to Coles and my husband used to like forcibly send me to different places to go and talk to people so I get comfortable with people. And
So he was very supportive in the
is.
adjustment.
He was.
Did he turn out to be the dream man?
He is. We can be grumpy at times and we
Like most
literally-
couples?
Yeah, we literally fight like cat and dog. We can be absolutely ridiculous at times, but no, he is the person. Seriously, if someone else would have found me, they wouldn't have tolerated me because I can be so grumpy at times.
Well, he must have a good sense of humour because, as you said, he was here, he understood the culture, and he probably thought to himself, you know what, this is going to be funny. She's going to rock up and expect maids. She's not going to get the maids. So did he actually start calling you darling at some point, or was it always just lady
Oh no.
or woman?
Yeah, at some point when he was down by a couple of lemonades, then surely it was darling. Because anyhow, Indian men, they can be like quite, they actually love, but at some point they don't know how to express it. And it is because they have been saying that from their childhood. So it is what not, it was not something, my piece of cake, which I was really expecting, because I knew that, because I've seen my dad, my brother, that, oh darling, it is going to be a very big word, unless they're a couple of lemonades down.
Is it still the same after so many years?
Yeah, he is. Like, he can be like, now at least he has gone to Palak. Previously it was just lady.
Wow.
Yeah.
Previously, okay, so at least it's Palak now.
Yeah, it's
And
Palak.
you've got a child now.
Yeah.
So now you've really adapted, because now you're not only just a working mum, you're a wife, you're a working mum, you're a maid, you're a house builder, you're everything now.
I can rock and roll now. And
So one would say that, you know, you're either Cinderella, who becomes a princess. So if you were to leave Australia, you would be known as a Cinderella. You go to India, you become a princess. In reality, for you, you were the princess,
yeah, I was.
and you came to Australia to be the Cinderella.
Yep.
So Palak, one question I have for you: married at first sight. What do you think when you see that, considering your own experience?
I think it is worth it, because if you already know each other, so that time you have already spent it. So now the moment you get married, it's the time to start fighting. If you are married at first sight, so you still have got that time period to know each other, like how do you love, emotional connection. So till the time, like it took me 8 years to be comparable to my partner, and my partner to be comparable to me.
8 years?
Yeah. So
Wow.
now after 8 years, now there's no time left for divorce. So I reckon love at first sight is much better.
Palak, thank you so much for opening up in your own experience.
No